Ben adodo na ata frɛ no A+ the babetu edwa se investigative journalist a ye friend Yera Ahmed Swale a emre bi obi agye ne nkwa efiri ne nsam yayaya ewa bra na papai ete ne kam a nipa bonefo a wokum papai na won ete moto so a won eyetu ebo ni tuo maako miensa ewo ne yam a amunum ha Ahmed Swale eto anananom ewo nse do Ghana Police Service eguso eye nhwehwemu a won ebehu nipa kro a won etimi kun because initially ebeto abonten no na already Kennedy Agyapong e de aba betu dwa sese abranche no bepiemu ewo ono ne premises dia ade se won emmono a enya asem koto anti usually na obi a eni nipa bebre suspect say Yera Kennedy Agyapong na ebi e bopa ma yetimi kokun papa nanso aprosifo nhwehwemu nyan CP emiyehu se ye no kra anase enye no kra a Kwame A+ e de aba betu dwa se ono ebi nipa kro a okun Ahmed Swale na odisa nsem we atu edwa no ntempa na Ghana Police Service e de krata e ba bonten o say the Ghana Police Service has today 15th of July 2024 invite Mr. Kwame Asare Obin, popularly known as A+, to assist the police on ongoing investigation into the death of Ahmed Swale following his recent claims on social media that he has some information regarding the case. In the Ghana Police Service, eto wonsa e de friend say papa say uni nipa a okun Ahmed Swale dia enebra na bepiemu ewo ya kache nwefa asem enokre no eba betu da because yakra yahwehwe enokre no e de ache Kwame Asare Obin A+ e de ese yoyo a onu ebohyi ekokopiemu ewo CID headquarters investigation no aba no awieye na before that no yenkwe kwan a Kwame Asare Obin A+ eka se onu emu nipa a okun Ahmed Swale na afei enokre ene nyoma a ewem nti krampo a ono ede nokra ni esie a no mpeso beka se police die nti a kwan nipa a okun Ahmed Swale no ono empese obebo ni din ni nsama Yera Kennedy compare ko Agyapong so eka ede efa ho
me nipa okun Ahmed Swale me do nyame mo hwemu ye mo campaign me do nyame nyankopo me come me mama wo mo wiase nka every week mo press conference. Focus on your campaign. My best friend, one of my best friends in this country that nobody knows is Napo. Listen carefully. One of my best friends that nobody knows in this country, Napo. One of my best friends in this country that nobody knows. One of the people that I respect. One of the people that we chat. We never have done public. I've never gone to his house. One of my best is Napo. When we program on Sunday, Napo told me that your program Kumasi no waba. Me and Napo we are on a different level. Napo senka me yeba and come the secret side check. And so I want the best for him. But me menso song was so. When PP communication, I said one spend a lot of time. When I asked Dr. Baumi, and Napo told him that I will bring A+ on the campaign. Go and ask him. We're asked whether I will do it or not. No, it's a different matter altogether. But don't try me. Don't try me. I said me nipa okun Ahmed Swale. I know the person who allegedly killed Ahmed Swale. And focus on your campaign. If you like, call police. Go and call A+. I will go and write a statement and they will make it public. Can't you just focus and do your government and me start some year campaign maybe so busy with Come me plus your guy man. Me more there because I know how to do my yeah, oh baby some say I didn't know information on Ahmed Swale don't find come police with some na make actually tie me want information say police for kokun nipa 5 wo go mo affect area ho baby. Arrested some and in an exchange of fire. In the exchange of fire, some of them okay. It's in nipa 5 ni we. Them say cartoon ya chi omo chase atu no kogum. Afiti ni. Edi be 1 week. And I mean, every information on that matter. So immediately, we including the dead bodies, everything, voice note, eyewitness, everything I had. So I took that information and I sent it to IGP. And I told IGP that, have you seen this story? This is murder. These people have been murdered. I suspect, say, it is either the police was misinformed and then they went and did this, or they know. What happened? IGP said, bra. Now a Monday morning, na me madam fubi. Also know a police ni. Ono na sa no make later. Me madam fubi. Na madam for no kra no. Ono na ma me lead. Madam for no. Ono no ma me lead no. Say challenge, we receive information and we think that these people will be family. We say it. Madam for no ma me lead no. And I call IGP or. As I'm like, me IGP can you boy? Tata no CID boss. Me IGP can you boy? You need to train your meeting. I can't something in a real. Me free CID headquarters. 10 minutes. Na akwana ye suspect say onu na a misleading police and I say or sha adene chime ku nipa 5 no afre me say chairman, they say you go talk my matter for police headquarters. Say me way I make they kill the boys. So. But we say family plus maybe in street no so. So before I went to police headquarters, me in Krema police in Betu, I had called the guy to tell him that hey, if you the streets, they snitch, they give false information to police, make they kill people. That's what they do.
It is. He's a bad guy, or he was. And let me tell you, if you don't have the evidence, Anas used them.
How did he use him?
Good. All those people that Anas destroyed with his videos and everything, Anas never showed his face, except this guy. This guy was bold to set everybody up. I have a lot of videos. Gentlemen, if you have time and you come to my house, I'll show you all the videos. There's not, with the exception of the Ivorian videos that I have that you see Anas's face after the interview with the Ivorian ministers that he was entrapping. All the entrapment, it was Ameswali who was sitting down with some fake Arabs who were saying that they were from the family of Sheikh Atani. So until a video comes out, you will never know that is Anas. But you know that...
Second Agyapong, this is called undercover reporting. And undercover reporting, sometimes there are simulations that are undertaken to make sure you test the character of the person. To get the best out of the person, try to make a conclusion in a story. It's not wrong.
But you say undercover.
It has given you the image that you don't love journalists.
I don't care.
You discriminate against journalists, even though you employ some.
I employ people like you. And how would I say, would you say that I don't like them?
Not when you issue threats to them.
How do I issue threats? You think you are the only human being who have blood in you because you're a journalist? I'm afraid I don't believe in that. Because this man, if you know the number of people that have been killed, if you know the number of people that have lost their jobs, we have to be fair to all those families that Anas and Ameswali set them up. You see, you didn't let me finish. It was Ameswali, you are talking about undercover.
Yes, undercover.
Undercover. So why didn't he, Ameswali, also cover himself?
Because
he
was
undercover.
There.
No, you are saying undercover, but Ameswali was there physically. Call Kwesi Nyantechi, he will tell you. Call Edubuahi, he will tell you. Call these ministers.
So why did you expose a gentleman to the Ghanaian public? Ultimately, the accusation is that it got him killed.
How did he get him killed? His own deeds killed him, not me.
All right.
What I said was that the first video I showed, you see why I have a problem with some journalists and you think I don't have it. There are a series of videos. You've taken only this one. The first one, when I mentioned Ameswali, my workers came to me, oh, Honorable, you don't know this guy. This guy has been here for school fees. You gave him 1,500 cedis to go and pay his school fees. And I said, I don't know him. So they said, oh, he has been coming here all the time. So the first video, then I said, this guy is a bad guy. If he comes here, beat him up. Because he's going to set me up. He's going to set Ken City up. And now my toil.
You said it on live TV.
Yes.
You brought the gentleman's live.
How?
He's outdoor.
First of all, let me say emphatically that Napo is not arrogant. You don't tell or mention people's character for them to be. You experience it. You live it. And for anybody you hear say Napo is arrogant, by the time you trace back the person, you realize that he's only feeding on the public conversation and hasn't really worked with him. As a matter of fact, ever since Napo was mentioned, almost every single individual that has worked with him has come out to say, no, this is a good choice, based on my experience. And these are not politicians.
Have you heard any of Bawumia's critics say Bawumia is arrogant? Anything close that Bawumia is arrogant? Have you ever heard that?
But I've heard the critics call Bawumia other names. So
he may have done certain wrongs. He may have done things they don't like, but they never say he's
saying that
arrogant.
I've heard the critics call Bawumia names that are not true.
The point is that it cannot be said that Napo does some wrong and people interpret that to be arrogance.
It is possible. We've had people call politicians a lot of things that they are not. This is politics. Remember, since we started our presidential primaries, people had always gone and knew and predicted who the running mate was going to be. I mean, actually, that is the case. Napo has unfortunately been warned, and that's something that the NDC have done very, very well. Because see, I read Professor Samuel Betbuedi-Kusi, the professor the Dean for International Affairs in the University of Cape Coast. He was the secretary to UTAG the time Napo was minister. And that's what he says about him. I have known and worked with Honorable Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh. I got close to him during my time as the National Secretary of UTAG. He's such a fine, humble, and competent gentleman. If you get close to him and listen to his words carefully, he's such a fine, humble, and competent gentleman. If you get close to him, you will get to know that he is down to earth with a great sense of humor and has very good interpersonal skills. He is a great manager, a visionary, and a doer. He is compassionate and does not discriminate. During his reign as the Minister for Education, he had an excellent relationship with unions and his charisma. Always curbed intended strike actions. He speaks his mind and is forthright. He speaks his mind and is forthright. Mm-hmm. He solves problems and is a mentor. He is one of the best ministers Ghana has had as a Minister for Education. I have no doubt about his leadership qualities. And I wish him well as he begins his campaign for the 2024 presidential campaign. Now listen, I am MPP, I've been in MPP, I have never seen Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh exhibit any form of arrogance. Anybody I've heard say Napo is arrogant is somebody that has never worked with Napo. Never. I have listened to Nagrat's leadership. I've listened to Nat. I've listened to professors of the universities, professors who worked in the sector, and it is evidenced. And you heard the professor say that he always curbed strike actions. In fact, during the entire period of Napo being Minister for Education, he had the least labor unrest that Ghana has ever seen in the education sector. An arrogant minister can never achieve this. Never. The way labor unions operate and their modus operandi, if you're arrogant, you cannot survive them.
You hear what the intelligentsia, the intellectuals say about him when he was seeking to introduce that bill to clip the wings of the university.
So it is about it's about getting the conversation, like the professor said. It's about the engagement. He's forthright.
You are forthright, are you not?
I am.
You speak your mind.
I have a lot of people who actually assume that I am arrogant, but I'm a pure Ethiopian bred.
I haven't heard it said of you that you are arrogant.
I have people even in my WhatsApp.
I haven't heard it said of Sami that he's arrogant.
I have heard people say, say Sami is arrogant. I've heard people say I am arrogant. I have heard it. Really? And I'm telling you about my own personal testimony people have given. You don't doubt that. And that is natural. But that's even beside the point. The fact is that Napo has suffered that false start of being worn a kaba and slit of arrogance by the opposition party. Because all the professors and people who have worked with him, they say different things. The guy is competent, he's a doer, he's a go-getter, he's humble. When we worked with him, he's respectful, he engaged us properly, and we got results. He has this big task of removing this kaba and slit from himself. Unfortunate, but that is politics. The very moment you got ready to be named as a running mate, you should be ready for it. Remember when Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia was accused in Parliament of having 3-4 wives, and a woman's name was even mentioned to be his wife? You have to deal with these things. One thing that I have said and consistently told anybody that has called me is that you don't tell people who somebody is. People experience him. Napo has started his campaigning. He is on the ground. He's engaging the people. And by the time July ends and we enter August, the people of Ghana will know what Dr. Matthew Poku Prempeh is made of. And I can tell you without any doubt that the true nature of Dr. Matthew Poku Prempeh that the people will know from experiencing him would be all the testimonies that the people he has worked with, the professors, including even the energy sector. Ask Senior Jose, your friend. Ask all the people in the sector. They will tell you about the character. They may disagree on issues. They will disagree on the policies and all of that. But the character, all of them have attested that the gentleman is a go-getter. He's a doer. He's assertive. He's forthright. He's a team player.
He's dealt with most vice chancellors. They don't say the same.
Now, this issue of Tuesday's Kwame Nkrumah's comment.
Your Kwame Nkrumah.
I have a view, to be very honest with you, that now people are watching Napo with a much more critical eye than they would watch any politician in the light of arrogance.
So there's a benefit.
There is a big disadvantage there. So now, even how he walks may be a problem. We may begin to see people show videos of what he's even wearing and describing it as arrogance. Now, Napo cannot make a mistake by even not seeing a chief coming from behind him and say that, oh, I didn't see you, sorry, let me rise up. It will be interpreted. So that is a cross he has to bear. But these crosses, they don't last. You can't lie on somebody's character. It's just a matter of time. The people would experience him themselves.
But this time has
it will
been
become,
for years now.
No, it's not. This is the time that he is going to be the number 2 gentleman of our land. He's going to campaign to be a running mate. He has never come to my hometown, Latte. Today, he will get to come there. He has never been to Kukua in Ayesuano. Today, he will get to go there. So it will not take Sami Jemfi or anybody to say he's arrogant. The people would have experienced him themselves. Oh, trust me, by September, what you hear is that, oh, send up on Ukraino.
Where has it been? Where has he been after mentioning?
But something. What I know, having worked with Napo in this party all over the years, supports the assertion and the testimony that all the people he worked with in the education sector are saying. And you underrate Napo and his political influence at your own peril. It's just a matter of time.
Where has he been after?
He's been in the western and the western north.
Okay.
Engaging the people.
He didn't go to Nalergo?
No.
Okay.
He's taking a different arm of the campaign.
I was in Tamale and I was aware there was
he's taking a different arm of the campaign, and he's going to stay in the communities. We should expect to see more of him in our communities, engaging the people and having conversations with the people. That is what we are going to experience. And then we would see whether this by force arrogance, an arrogant person doesn't easily apologize like Napo has done. Listen, you know that there are people who have actually made similar and worse comments on this Nkrumah matter. I have screenshots here. I don't want to go too much into it because it may seem like a justification. But I have a chief here, and you can look at it.
Very many people.
Who have actually said that Mahama is better than. In fact, they said that Mahama is greater than Nkrumah. But nobody held up to the chief. You know why? Because he's not Napo.
The manner it was said.
No, not necessarily.
That makes the biggest difference.
Nobody has held the chief because he's not Napo, and there's no crystal microscope on him. The national organizer of the NDC actually